Hello again, everyone. Today's video is going to be the video comments part 2. Only this one is going to pertain to a video that I published on January 3rd. And it was filmed, I guess you could say, on December 31st, 2022, New Year's Eve. And it went from the old CPS lot to the Monon High Bridge. This is the alleged route that Richard Allen took on the day of February 13th, 2017. Remember, those charged in the crime are innocent until proven guilty. Just got to get that up front. I want to go over comments that were made on here. I saw a lot of them. There are a lot of comments on this video. Pretty decent amount of views. I answered some of them, but I want to bring those all forward, just like I did in the first video. So, without any further ado, I want to be able to discuss some of these and talk over some, get your thoughts and feelings, let you see that I did see them, and I care about your comments. And I allow any comment on here. Like I said before in my last video, some people are self-policing, some people kind of help out with conversations, and so, well, without any further ado, let's get going on this. First of all, I'm going to kind of start at the bottom and go run through some of them. Of course, Teresa says, such a senseless tragedy. I mean, you got to start with that anyway. It is. Overall, no matter what is said, accusations, innuendo, whatever, theories, what you've been told, what you're supposed to believe, anything involved in it. Overall, it's a senseless tragedy, and this should have never happened. So, moving on through some of here, I've had to kind of run through some of these. Yeah. Of course, Kathy says, this is a reoccurring question. Is the rest of the bridge going to be redone and it will be accessible to the end? I do want to throw in there, I think I forgot to say it, that the video that I am discussing will be in the link in the description. And you can go there. If you haven't seen the video, you can go there and watch it first and then come back, and then you'll kind of understand what's going on. Back to Kathy's question. Is the rest of the bridge going to be redone and will it be accessible to the end? I said it looks like it's finished, but I don't know for sure. I don't know because I'm not in on it. To me, it appears to be finished, and I don't know why they would want to go any farther. It looks wonderful now, and it's got a nice little end piece where you can kind of go out there. All wonderful view. You can have a few people out there, whatever you want to do. You can use the trail now for walking or jogging or whatever. But if it went any farther, to me personally, it wouldn't make any sense. But you never know. There could be changes coming. Tragedy for sure. Is this the exact way Richard Allen walked to the path? Thanks for sharing. And like I said, it's a supposed route that he took. I think that's what's stated in the affidavit. I believe it's in there. And I think I said that on the video. So it looks like the bridge is impassable now. Can you walk the full length? I said it crosses the creek, but does not go all the way back to solid ground. Of course, when you cross the creek, there's an open set of land, essentially for flooding. And then it meets back up once you pass over the private drive. So I guess you consider it's impassable. I think before it was impassable, but because if they continue to go on over till it reconnects to solid ground, and then the trestle's gone, you're going to end up in where there used to be a railroad track. I've seen this on videos, and you can look at it from Google Earth, that it's full of trees. So you're going to spend, I don't know how many thousands of dollars cleaning that out. If they're still going to do it, fine, but it really only goes out to a road. And so yeah. So I think that's where the bridge is going to end at. Snarky's on here again. She saw my last one. Some people don't believe that Richard Allen is the bridge guy, and truthfully, the family messed up by saying that it was 50 the day that the girls went missing. So that would mean that they went missing on Sunday, not Monday. So this would mean that they are covering up the truth and controlling the narrative. I don't know that. I can see wanting to control the narrative because it is your child involved in it. Like I said in my video, it was not, if you go back and do a Google search of the weather that day, I think the high was 45 and it was partly sunny. So it was not warm. And in the video that I took on that day, it was 44, I think was what it was when I was out there last time I checked. So couldn't have been any better conditions. Not the same month, but the same weather conditions, no leaves on the trees, what have you. So yeah, I can see you doubting that. I know that they kind of talked about that, but yeah, it wasn't warm that day. Unfortunately, information is saved on a computer, so it's kind of hard to hide from that. Diane P says, probably everything that we all think. I hope Abby and Libby somehow know that the world loves them. And September Sapphire said, I'm sure they do. And Loretta said, the best thing that can happen besides them getting justice. And thank you, Francis. Appreciate your precious sacrifice to reveal what the picture is like there. Delphi, India. Keep it up, bro. Thanks, Francis. It's not much of a sacrifice, but it, yeah, I wanted to, I wanted to show what it was like. It's, like I said, kind words, but it's not really a sacrifice. But yeah, my point was that I wanted it to show what it looks like out there. Now, of course, tremendously different for the better, but tremendously different from that day. Barbara said, this is nothing like I imagined. Thank you. And I said, yes, it's a lot safer now. Yeah, for someone that, I think Barbara is from the UK. So that'd be a long trek to try to see what it looks like there. So that's what I kind of want to show, what it looks like there. People, I think there's some people that do videos that kind of picture or piece things together, what they see in other videos. And when you watch a video and you see certain angles or certain sites from there, you think you know what it is, but or you think you have an idea what it looks like. You got a pretty good picture. You don't unless you're out there. Some parts look exactly like it does. When I was out on the bridge, it looks nothing like I thought it would. It does in some ways, but in a lot of ways it doesn't. Height levels are weird. There are things I thought were lower. I may have discussed this in the other video. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go over it again. Things that appeared to be lower when I was on the bridge are actually eye level. And it was weird. There's places I know I can't see. Everything's brown, so I mean, you could probably see things that were white out there. You would probably be able to spot them easier, but it depends. Depends on the conditions. Sunny, gonna show more. If it's not sunny, if it's dark, of course you're not gonna see anything. But once again, I'm gonna read this question. Once again, he is innocent until proven guilty. What kind of killer is Richard Allen? He's not a serial killer or a mass murderer or a spree killer. He has to fall into some type of category. Adam said, whoever did it, it's not their first. Well, there's a lot of first-time killers, and that's the only time they do it. Snake says, a sick, twisted freak killer. Yeah. An opportunistic killer from Anna. And Sean said the man had no prior history of violent crime. To do a rape or even one homicide would be all that unusual for a man his age, but to do a double homicide first time would be very unusual. especially in broad daylight. This case is never set right with me. There are too many unanswered questions. Yes, there are too many unanswered questions, and hopefully, when this case comes to trial, a lot of those questions will be answered. I mentioned that I don't like to go on private property. I said this in my last video because a lot of people have weapons. And I'm sure somebody might think, what's he talking about? And I don't have any problem with anybody's right to bear arms. And they have the right to protect their land. And if someone's on their land, I can understand why they would want them off the land. I just think that I've had a thing kind of nagging at me that I don't know why someone would pick, kind of somewhat agree with parts of this, why someone would pick the broad daylight to do this and to go onto private property and commit this crime. It just seems odd. Maybe it's just me because it seems so open and with the opportunity to be seen, though it is kind of hard to see around there, like I said, but it just seems to me that odd that you would set up and perpetrate a crime to happen on private property, and then you would just leave there. I don't know. Something that goes over in my head. I'm not making any accusations against anybody. It's just things that go through your head. You sit there and you try to think, well, why would you do something like that? But sometimes, if it is a crime of opportunity, things like that do happen. This one says, I hope I kind of answered that. That was from Super Jaded. Me, myself, a person on here, not me. I remember driving down I-65 going from Wisconsin to Alabama, and I thought about exiting and going for a small drive to see for myself. For some reason, fear overtook me, and I'm not a fearful person, but a very strong intuition wouldn't allow me. This was on April and June of 2022. It amazes me seeing these videos. And then Adam said it happened to me as well. Yes, it is weird out there. I think it's just, it's quiet. That's why it's very, very quiet. Of course, wintertime, everything seems to be more quiet. That always has been to me. I don't know, it's just something personal. But it feels very weird. Somebody had commented on sounds or something in there. I can't remember. It's probably in here somewhere. And I just said there was a lot of background noise. When you're near the Hoosier Highway, it is very loud. And that's why the microphone I had on. Because the previous video, which I talked about in part 1, you couldn't hear me because I was not using a mic. And the mic that I had on there is not working properly. So it's very loud there. And then when you get away from it, it becomes very quiet and also becomes very weird and eerie. It's, like I said a bunch of times before, it's cool. It's pretty beautiful out there. It's not the best place in the world, but it's beautiful out there. I'd love to have a house built out there with a deck, and that was my view. But unfortunately, it's very weird feeling there, and I can't really explain it. It's almost like, I guess it feels like that maybe you shouldn't be there, and that's unfortunate because, like I said, it's a nice place, and it's a great addition to the community. Carla said, "Thank you. I'm going there this coming Sunday." That was 3 weeks ago. This will be very helpful. Well, I hope you had a good time there, Carla, if you did go, and you probably will. Okay. The first video when I was there, it was only partially the bridge or the section of it's almost like a viewing. I guess I should call it a walkway to a viewing area is what it is now. Before it was just a railroad bridge. When I was there at the first time back in November, it was only, if you watch the video, I might put that one in the link in the description too. It only goes out a certain distance. There's other videos out there too, but it only goes out a certain distance. And so I kind of talked about what it was like at that time. The second video, it's completed or appears to be completed. And they had put up railings which makes it even more difficult if you want to do a perspective shot, if you want to take a picture to show what someone would look like out there with the wider planks and a railing. That's going to make it really difficult. But what do I know? This pertains to this comment from Tam D. I think the railroad track railing should be much higher to prevent falling over or being thrown from the bridge murdered. I kind of gave the emoji, it's interesting. Yeah, but I think if the way the railing is pretty high, and if you went any farther, you might feel like you're in jail. But if you're going to get up on there and screw around and fall off or get pushed off, it's probably your fault that happened. You and the people that are with you. There's not much more safety that they can do. The safety requirements on the Freedom Bridge, there's a higher kind of bat or chain up certain distance, and that's to prevent people from throwing stuff off and hitting cars. That's usually why that's done. So I understand your point there, Tam, but I think it's fine the way it is. And if you're screwing around or acting stupid, then maybe you should fall in. At least that's what my parents would have told me, especially if a kid's out there. Lan asked me, is that Ronald Logan's house, the white one near the beginning? That is when I am exiting. I'm not putting pictures up. That is when I am entering where the High Bridge trailhead is to me. Other people talk about the trailhead being coming in from 300 across from the house. I'm not saying their name, starts with an M. You would undoubtedly know, or you can figure it out. That is a short distance. That's, to me, some people call a trailhead. I don't call that necessarily a trailhead. It's a trailhead for the 501 and 505. The trailhead I consider that we're talking about is where the Monon High Bridge Trail starts, and that is at that memorial that they have for the train engineers. And it's a fantastic, that had to cost a lot of money. That marble or that rock, the giant rock with that etched in there, I know those aren't cheap. But anyway, when I entered there, I entered off of 300. That's kind of a partial, that's a street entrance. If you're coming from the CPS lot and you parked there at the time, back in 2017, you would have walked through there, and that's where you would have started at. And then you would proceed to walk on the Monon High Bridge Trail to the Monon High Bridge. Right at the beginning there, you cannot see Ron Logan's house. To make an extremely long story short, there is a couple houses there. I don't remember the names. I'm not saying them anyway, but because I'm respecting their privacy, and that's why I had a lot of movements in there. I had a little bit of trouble with my camera, and I tried to stabilize a lot of it. I wish the video was better, but it is what it is. And I didn't really want to focus in on houses of innocent people, because you shouldn't do that. But from that distance, you cannot see Ron Logan's house. Let's see. Jamarcus Russell says, "Whoa, the bridge looks a million times better. I would have not felt safe walking on it before." And I said, yes, it's a big improvement. Order TSC. Is it possible to walk from the cemetery to the old CPS lot, the suspected route RA may have taken? Thanks. I am considering doing a video from there sometime, if I get a chance to get back over there. And yes, you can walk from the cemetery very easily. There are other videos out there. I kind of wanted to do my own video and show you a little bit of the surroundings, maybe a different angle, different view. Of course, my commentary will probably be on there. Everyone enjoys my commentary. It's real easy to walk through there. You just walk out to 300, you head west. That's the Muddy and Bloody guy. scenario that happened at 357. That's another one that's puzzling to me, but not exactly sure who the witness was for that. But he supposedly walked and was seen on the north side of the road and walked back to the CPS lot, from what I understand. It seems odd, but you have to go with what the witnesses said. But to answer the question, yes, you can very easily walk from the cemetery to the old CPS lot. It will take you a while, but you can do it. 40, let's say 42.5 degrees at the time that the Muddy and Bloody guy would have walked. And he's wet. That's going to be a chilly walk. When Allie asks, why and when did they tear down the CPS building? The building was and I said the building was abandoned and no one was interested in purchasing it, so the state of Indiana tore it down in 2018. That's your answer. If anybody else knows anything else, there's really no reason to leave that building there because it's going to become a problem, especially after this. You're going to get squatters, you're going to get vandals, you're going to get, I don't know, people that want to, I don't know, do whatever they want with the building. So it made sense to tear it down. Nobody wanted it. We deal with that in our town a lot. It's common in a lot of places. So I don't think it was any big secret deal, but Melissa said it's a very scary trail, I bet, to walk alone. Yeah, it would be, especially when it's twilight or night. Definitely would be scary then. Yeah. BNN Rose says, watching this video and how beautiful this trail is just makes me even more angry for the crime that occurred. R.I.P. Abby and Libby. Yes, yes, it's unfortunate. Like I said, covered in the oting video, I'm covering again in this one. The times that I had been there before, it was a gravel trail, looks more woodsy, fits in with the surroundings better. It was gravel with weeds growing through it. This one is a professional trail, like a lot of trails are. Sometimes requirements for funding requires trails to be put in the way that this one was put in. But it's definitely a lot different now and safer. It would be nice if they had lights out there of some sort. And of course, then you got to keep people from busting the lights out. But it would be nice to have them all the way out there. I don't know, actually on the walkway to the viewing platform, as I'm going to call the bridge now, if they had lights on there, that would be cool. That's not going to cost that much money to run lights out there. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one. This is from trying to speed this up a little bit. September Sapphire. I wonder if they are going to replace the rest of the bridge. Hope so. I kind of covered that. Probably mostly to do with private property and really no need to extend that any farther. The dodging bullets. I believe that somehow someone knew the girls would be there at that time. I also believe that maybe someone close in the family maybe have been the killer or one of them. I don't really want to discuss that, but yes, anything's possible. I'm going to read Dodging Bullets' other comment he made. Why would two young girls travel all that way to walk across a dilapidated bridge with holes in it? Seriously. Just getting to the bridge is isolated and dangerous enough. Yes. Where they were dropped off at, the supposed dropped off spot, I'm going to keep it at supposed, is across from the M property. And I think there is a question in here. I'll answer that when I get to that question. But the distance they walked was really short to get to the bridge. But yes, the bridge was dilapidated and it should not have been accessible. So I'm sure that may come up in a court case, especially if there is a civil suit or any other kind of lawsuit against parties involved. Hopefully it doesn't get ugly when it comes to that sort of thing, but the main thing is justice for the girls. Linda said, I thought the CPS building was across the highway and you would have to cross the Freedom Bridge to get to the High Bridge. And she said, also, I didn't see you cross the highway on Freedom Bridge. That I did in the first video. And no, you don't. The CPS lot, you did not. The only thing you have to cross is nothing. You just have to kind of walk along 300 and then walk in there. Like I said, from would be, I guess, the north. The way it's angled, it would be the northeast entrance to and you walk through this little kind of cool area there. It's been reshaped and there's some drainage in there because you always got to have compensatory or some kind of water storage or runoff area, and they made that there. I bet the trail was prettier before being paved, but the accessibility is worth it, I suppose. I said the old trail looked like you shouldn't be on it. For a lot of people. To me, I don't have a problem with it. But to a lot of people, no. Now, if you got grandma out there that's like, I like to go look at birds, or I like seeing butterflies and such, you probably don't want to take her out on a trail that's gravel and has weeds all over it. It's easier to have this set up like this. It's much more inviting too to have somebody there. If a suspect is arrested and no one had called with a tip, and him arrested, the county gets the reward money to do whatever they want. That's why the bridge is getting done. At least they use the reward to fix up. Now people can enjoy it and be safe. I hope that they would use the money for some kind of security also. State police should pay for it. That's a long. Yeah, I don't think that. And then another thing that involves Idaho. There's a lot of connections to Idaho here. They are kind of the same, but they're the same, but not the same. I don't think I think the reward money is still sitting there. They cannot do anything with that reward money until someone is connected to what the reward was posted for. Yeah, I addressed that. Gotcha G says, it looks like to me the bridge won't be finished all the way across. I would assume is because people will be visiting the site where the girls were found, which is on private property. I kind of want to I guess I wanted to read that again because reiterate that the reason why that is not being fixed is, to me, because it's on private property. And again, I don't think it's necessary. You don't need a bunch of people trekking out there to go, I don't know, what it is now. Like Dealey Plaza, I guess it's an example. It's almost perfectly preserved the way it was the day of November 22nd, 1963. I don't think you probably need to do this on private property. I don't mean to be flippant about it, but you don't need to have this set up to be a place where people can go visit a site like this. First of all, to go across the bridge and go down the hill, if that's where it was at, you're just going to a flat spot and you're not where the alleged spot, or at least where the girls were found at. It's not in the same area. Downtown Wonder said, this is the best video from start to finish I've finished that I've viewed. Thank you. I wish the video itself appeared better. There's a lot of, I just wish it would have come out better. I probably will do another one out there, maybe when it's nicer out. But yes, my point was to try to show you what it looks like out there as much as I could, surroundings. I wish I would have done some things differently. That's why I'm kind of contemplating doing another video to maybe give you a better view. Almost, I think somebody had suggested a 360 camera, which would not be bad, but those are hard to, you can only look at a 360 video mostly on a phone. So it's kind of hard to watch. If you're watching on your computer, your laptop, your TV, your tablet, whatever, it's kind of hard to see that. This one I did want to bring up. This is G. Benro Aduyala. Aduyala? Hey, my name's different, and that's a cool name. The two birds at 2035 are Abby and Libby, and he caught it. It was weird. They're geese. And that was when, unfortunately, my camera got really weird. Way weird. More weird than it had been at any other time during the video. And but two geese flew right over, I think right when I was talking about them. I had mentioned it being sad, because it was. It's horribly sad. And then two geese fly over. It couldn't have been any better. If you don't believe in things happening for a reason, then I don't know how you're going to write that one. I don't know how you're going to spin that one. Go through a few more of these. It really makes a difference when you took us on the walk step by step instead of seeing it in short footage, which unfortunately was my first video. And yeah, I'm going to run through, try to wrap up here. There's so many questions. I don't know if I should do a part 3 or not, but Beth asked thank you for the video. Gives me much better perspective of the area. Are there more cameras along the trail? I didn't see any. There I can't remember if the 505, the 501, 505 trailhead or split, there is a couple different information things that are neat. There's a bench sitting there. That's where one of the memorials is at. I don't remember if there was a camera on there, but the only one I know for sure when you start on the Monon High Bridge is the one at the very beginning. And I think there may be one over on the other side of 25, over across Freedom Bridge. I think there may be one there. That reminds me, there is a question in here that I was going to get to, which had to do with, if I remember that right, crud. I can't think of. Ask me the distance of how long it was from where the girls were dropped off to where the picture of, or where the bridge guy video happened. And from the time where they were dropped off at to, let's go from now, from where they were dropped off at to what I call the viewing spot. Depending on how fast you're walking, if you're lollygagging or if you're kind of playing around, it could be 8 to 10 minutes. But if you left that spot and walked specifically out there at a normal pace, you're there in 5, maybe even quicker. If you walk from the parking lot over by Freedom Bridge across 25, and you walked across there, and you would it would probably take you, well, you watch the video, you see how long it took me. I know I stopped in there, but what, 20 minutes? 25 minutes even? Depends on who you are. If you're a fast walker, you've got tiny legs, who knows? But where they were dropped off at is a short distance. And I think a lot of people are probably aware of that. But it would make sense if you're only going to the bridge itself, you're not going to get dropped off down there. You're going to get dropped off at the M property area. Garden Stitcher says the bridge is beautiful now. I don't doubt that, or I'm not doubting that. It does look much better. It's a shame, like I said before, that they couldn't leave it for a little longer, especially with the trial coming up, but it does look much better. I did want to say, this game's from T-Bone. I went out there the day of the PCA hearing, probable cause affidavit, and they were working on the bridge and were very rude and mean, accusing me of looking for pretty little girls. They're very lucky I wasn't a family or a friend. and he's referencing Indiana landmarks. I don't know if that's true. And if it is, it's unfortunate. Maybe they were just tired of people being out there. I tried to make sure that when I went out there was no one working on it, because I don't want to go out there and get in the way. I don't want to ask them questions. So, but if that happened, that's unfortunate, T-Bone. T-Bone. Yep. April says, looks like they've done some major safety work on the bridge. Thank God for that. Apparently, they have changed the route around the murder site. I said that there definitely the area's changed for the murder site, or I hate to say that, or for where the girls were found. The bridge really has nothing to do with it. That you can do by going through the cemetery and walking down that hill. So that's going to wrap up this video. I appreciate everyone's comments. I hope I kind of let everyone know some of my thoughts and let all the commenters on there know that I saw their comments and I appreciate them. I don't block any comments. Like I said, people self-police. They can comment whatever they want. If they make ridiculous comments, I'm just not going to ignore them. You can say whatever you want about me. I don't care. One of the positions I have, all you gotta do is look me up. One of the positions I have, I take a lot of heat anyway, and I don't care about that. Actually, I encourage it. But I appreciate and I thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments. Please give this video a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And once again, thank you for watching this. There'll be more Delphi videos coming up at some time whenever they're needed. I'm not going to make a bunch of them for no reason. There'll probably be more hiking type or scene videos because I do that sort of stuff in my leisure time. I like to go places. I like to visit interesting places. And this, of course, interests me. And I'd like to also follow the improvements that are being made. So there'll be more of these videos coming up in the future. So until next time,